insurance are pretty straight across the board. Those figures that you can see, because of the way we're structured, it's better for us to have a group plan for the whole city. So that's kind of where we're at with those fringe benefits. Those don't change.
Now, these positions, they all have a pay increase. From what I see, are they all the same?
They've had a slight increase.
Be paid out of golf.
Oh yeah, that's all, it's all inside the budget. It's all inside the operating budget.
Some, you said?
I'm sorry?
You said some?
All of them?
All of them.
And just so you guys know, we transferred somebody from golf this week into purchasing. And, I mean, Jeff and I haven't had a lot of time to discuss it, but our goal was to not replace him if we can absolutely afford to not replace him at golf. He did a lot of purchasing for golf as well, so we think that some of that can still be handled out of City Hall.
So he's going to do golf purchasing and city purchasing?
That's the goal. Again, we have to map that out to make sure he can handle it. Because, I mean, Jeff and I are on different pages a little bit on this because there's a lot more to it.
And Mayor, I agree with the purchasing aspect, but he is also the assistant manager, so he runs the golf operations when the golf manager's not there. And being a 16 or 18 hour a day operation, one can't do all of those hours.
So we may have to replace it may be a different position, a different level position.
Correct.
At golf?
Yeah.
But they would receive a hike in that position?
Well, it'd be a new position altogether.
New position.
Are all the terms for these through 2017, or is that?
They're all through, I thought there were 16.
I thought it was 16.
December 31st, 2016. December 31st. So you guys get out to go work with big boys for a while.
It's good through December 6th.
Put your apron on.
Yeah.
Put your apron on.
I'm gonna go boss. I'm gonna be the boss over there. I get to just push people around. All right, come on over. We'll go somewhere else.
Jeff, so these new personal service contracts, there's not any new ones over and above what you had for last year?
The only new ones is the controller position for the half of Meadows and Sportsplex.
Oh, okay.
That's a new one. And we had the assistant golf operations manager split within 3 guys before, 3 positions. Now we're doing that into 1. So we're going to kind of treat it as we did the lakes, as the assistant manager is going to be the manager when the other manager's not there. So it is a management position where they'll be in charge. So, but it's all accounted for in the budget. So.
I just a couple more questions regarding this bump in pay.
Yep.
What is the average? I mean, have these people been in their positions for a while?
Sure.
And is it just regarding these people that we have the contracts in front of us for, or everybody involved?
No, just these.
Okay. And
We're still at minimum
percentage
wage.
fee?
I'm sorry?
What roughly with the percentage fee?
5%.
Right, 5%.
Right, 5%. Between 3.5% and 5%, depending on the rate.
Quick question on, let's say just the control, food and beverage manager.
Yep.
You have a range of 2050 to 2150.
Right.
So that's anytime you're extending it, you raise
Correct,
it? You
correct.
can raise it?
Yes, correct.
So
But
that-
they will be starting at the low end
Right.
of that.
So that 3% to 5% could be 6%
Could.
to 10%.
Could. Could.
19 and 20.
But basically, it's $1 an hour.
Yes.
Instead of 10, you need to come out outlay.
Oh, yeah, he's going to get this.
Oh, okay.
Now, as the mayor said, we are taking, Council Chair, 15 will be stricken from this agenda because that person is in purchasing now.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we need to take 15 off. That contract will not. And that will be, and there's one more, a food and beverage manager at Lakes that could come potentially. I'm interviewing for that position still.
Mm-hmm.
So that contract could still will come forward when we find the right candidate.
Tomorrow? Or
No, not
in the
tomorrow.
future.
It's gonna take a
Okay.
while, future months.
Okay.
For at Lakes?
Yes. Lakes volume, Councilman, Lake's volume of activity from the restaurant, we're open for lunch, Meadows aren't, they're not open. And we do twice as many weddings and events at Lakes as we do Meadows, so it needs, you have to split it. One person can't do it all.
I know at one point when I see wedding cakes and stuff, I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah. So that's why there's 2 food and beverage management position at Lakes and only 1 at Meadows,
That's understandable.
so.
Okay, shall we move on to item number 19? And this is for Lincoln Office Solutions for renovation of the police department dispatch center for cost not to exceed $75,000. And that's not coming out of TBA now, but capital outlay. Capital outlay. We'll amend that tomorrow.
That's long overdue.
Absolutely.
The place as a whole. Sorry.
Yeah, for those of you who may not be familiar, our dispatch center, which houses our jail, our dispatch center, our internal operations, we also dispatch fire, hasn't been renovated in probably 20 to 30 years. Carpets basically coming off the floor. So this would allow us to replace wall covering, get some actual lighting in there for task lighting for the dispatchers, the call takers, replace the flooring, and upgrade some of the furniture, which if you've been in there, you've been there. Badly needed.
Yeah.
And that's coming out of, what did he say, maintenance?
Capital outlay, but it will actually be the proceeds from the gun auctions going into that account to cover it.
And then 20, that's for the duct cleaning. And that is not coming out of the Taylor Building Authority,
No, it is not.
but repairs and maintenance.
Yes.
And I imagine that's pretty necessary too.
It is. We had a voluntary MIOSHA inspection last summer, and while we did quite well, one of the concerns was the air quality in the dispatch center related to the other project. One of the suggestions, it wasn't necessarily a finding or recommendation, they suggested that we get it tested and cleaned, the ventilation system cleaned. So that's what we're following up on and going with the low bidder on that to get the entire ventilation system of the police department cleaned, which I don't think has ever been done either.
What is the reason, I saw something in there about sole bidder, these guys are gonna go in the building and like, what, cut off certain areas
They
and
will-
clean that at a certain time, or?
Yes, they're going to work around, obviously, we're a 24-hour operation, they're going to work around our schedule and what's best, but it's a huge facility. They will section off certain parts, work on that with air blasters and all their equipment. They have portable equipment. I preferred this company, not only were they a little better, but they were the only ones who could bring in portable devices to reach the ductwork throughout the facility, rather than us having to leave the back doors unsecured, where they would have a vacuum suction to a truck that would be sitting outside. So the portable units they can take throughout the facility, do sections as they need to, and move on.
Yeah, there's different rooftop units, so they would be able to go to that rooftop. And otherwise, it used to be hoses.
Right, yeah.
Right. And it's my understanding with the other two bidders who do have the van, that they do lose quite a bit of suction by having to take it from the van, say, out to the farthest corner of the
Okay.
station.
Item number 21 is to approve payment to Detroit, or to DeWolf Associates for field training, officer training for 4 officers for an amount not to exceed $2,800. This will come from Act 302 training funds and state forfeiture funds. What kind of training is this?
This is for, to train officers to be field training officers, and because it is over $2,000, I'm bringing it to you to use DeWolf as a vendor for training.
And 22 is to receive and file the results of the seized gun auction.
I have one question on this.
Yes.
I noted that there was a lot amount of 411, 422, 427, and all of these different bids here, and I just wanted to know what was the true amount that was.
411.
411.
When the companies, the bidders come in, we allow them to bid on just the guns that they may want. Cabela's was the only one that bid on the entire lot of 411.
So I think there was 2 or 3 guns that they didn't want you guys to just destroy them. I mean, are they not sellable? Is that what
Yes.
they're, okay.
Yes, sir.
No, because Cabela's said 422. Gander Mountain said 411.
I'm sorry, that number's 422.
That's pretty good, that's $130 a gun. That's pretty good.